So I've hinted at this all day, and we are now going to talk about it. How high can ADA price get in this market cycle? Because a lot of things have changed. This does make a major impact in the potential of ADA. And did this just confirm a $500 billion plus market cap ahead for ADA in general? I'm going to break this all down in this video, and we're going to have a good discussion about this. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So first of all, just looking at ADA, things have changed in a big way. US government interest, institutional player interest. This is all stuff that will make an impact in the price of ADA. I'm going to kick the government interest down the road because we don't know what that is going to look like yet. As of right now, Donald Trump is going to be making an investment announcement at 1:30 p.m. today. Now, this video is going to come out after that, so I don't know what that news is quite going to be yet. So we're going to just ignore that part for now. But what we are starting to see is increased optics, increased interest. And this is starting to create essentially perpetual motion in terms of ADA. Because like we talked about yesterday, with this new major announcement, what you're talking about is increased institutional interest, the easier ability to get partnerships and integrations. Then you're talking about the heightened optics of retail and adoption of retail. And then that circles back around to more partnerships, more optics, more discussions, retail optics, retail accumulation. And then we just go on and on and on. This is exactly what ADA was waiting for. This is how the Cardano blockchain comes online in a big way. And yes, this does completely change things in terms of ADA. No longer is it sitting quietly in the dark, the quote unquote ghost chain. It is now the chain that has some of the largest potential in this market cycle because it's been so forgotten about, so undervalued for so long, right? Now, here's the thing. I'm loving what I'm seeing in terms of ADA structure. This tap on the top of our trend, perfect bounce here. This is the perfect retest and setup for a nice next extension. We'll wait and see what happens there. I do have to say that ADA BTC chart playing out perfectly. This is exactly what we've been waiting for. The moment we've been waiting for ADA to break out of this downtrend, this long-term trend here. And in fact, when we look back at last market cycle, this is right where everything began to take off, right? The triple tap that we talked about. For those that have been following me here on the channel for a while, you know, we've talked about this. ADA needing that last throwback to its trend before it breaks out and starts to surge upwards. Well, 1, 2, 3. This is the third time sharp breakout that we had from this trend from basically December 5th. And now ADA is going to be entering no man's land. All right. Not a guarantee, not financial advice or anything like that. But this is really where the cycle for ADA got started. This is where we started to see some insane moves in terms of price. In fact, this breakout ran 205%. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen here, but just know that there is huge potential now that we have these bigger optics and bigger discussions and retail starting to pay attention again. All these things are working out perfect. Now, what I really do want to talk about is this ADA dominance chart. This is the best way that we can look at ADA versus the crypto market. And one thing I've talked about many times is being somewhere in terms of that 3 to 5% level in terms of ADA dominance. That is the most important thing. And what's interesting is back when we were having this discussion, I talked about actually dragging this trend over. Let me just unlock this, and about how similar this looks. Well, look at that. ADA's right on trend with attacking some of these higher dominance levels. I mean, we might be talking about what, 3%, 3.25% dominance by April. And frankly, the market is at like $3 trillion right now. But what we might be talking about then is somewhere in the $4 to $5 trillion range. ADA at 3% dominance at that time, that's $150 billion market cap, right? That is a new all-time high. That's a 5x from here in terms of price. That's a $5 price point for ADA come April. I'm not guaranteeing or saying that's going to happen for sure. And in fact, when we take a look back at this structure in terms of ADA, this all starts to really come together in a great way. You know, when we take a look back here, now this is saying $7 by April. I'm not ready to say that yet, but all of our price projections, they've been grounded in fundamentals. I've said that, you know, ADA on the low side, if it doesn't get, you know, any adoption, if it's not really getting much traction, probably $5 ADA. $7 ADA would be bigger adoption, interest from institutional players, more partnerships coming online. Then we talked about $15 ADA. That was big adoption taking place, institutional interest. But now things have changed all over the place. All right. The reason why I started to talk again about, you know, like that $25 to $30 again ADA yesterday is again because of the perpetual motion like we talked about. But this government interest is a whole new ball game. We're talking about potentially, again, tens to hundreds of billions of dollars in assets being added, ADA on that short list, right? And then we start to bring into account mass adoption, surging from 5 to 10% of the world in crypto. I mean, these are all big things that are going to start impacting the price in a big way. We're still just right now, we're still at the time where it's just, we're in a closed, we're in a bubble, right? Not that kind of bubble, but we're inside this box, and it's just the people here currently. And what we're witnessing right now in the space is just the capital that's already here flowing back into assets in the space. And that's good, because that is what triggers buying from outside the space. That is what triggers those optics. And that is where we start to see this next big leg. That's where we start to see hundreds of millions of new users come into the crypto market. And what's interesting now is, ADA has this potential to get up to a $25 price point. I'm not saying this is going to happen for sure. Again, that's saying that everything goes right. That again, there's major institutional interest for ADA. There's major adoption that happens within the ecosystem. But I think people are starting to understand how big of moves these moves actually are. They haven't made these huge impacts in price yet, but they are going to make impacts over time. And at that time, if ADA gets up to $25 ADA, what is that? That's like $800 billion in terms of market cap. At that point, you'd be looking at 8% dominance or so. And I think that a lot of things have changed, and maybe I'll do an update on my top 10 assets for this market cycle, because frankly, your top 5 may have just been cemented. It may be Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, ADA, Solana. That would not surprise me, because this embrace is going to be big as we move down the road. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I think there are a few more things I wanted to talk about in there, but that's kind of the major stuff. It's coming into scope a lot better. I still want to see where prices are at in March, April, May, and I think we can make a much better determination of where ADA price is going to be by the end of this cycle by that point. But the price ranges have risen. I still think $7 ADA is kind of the base. That's what I was expecting anyways. But now we're talking about a much bigger gap and a much bigger potential for ADA and the Cardano ecosystem in general. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.